left as the blue Terran pieces. In the top right, we have TT1 from Fnatic MSI spawning as the higher-seeded red Protoss.
And we did have a swap of positions here. I'm really curious to see what happens. Now, Steps of War, a much smaller map, but you've also seen, you'd think just by the size of the map that every single game that occurred on here would be a short game, it'd be over quickly. But we've seen a lot of longer games take place on this map. Of course, these two guys, one thing that I really love about Jinro is active scouting, how much he is all over the map and keeping aware of what's going on. TT1 does the exact same thing, but in his own little style. And we do see Jinro once again going, and you pointed this out earlier in the last game where he's pairing up his SCVs on the minerals.
Yeah, notice he's not even mining from these 3 mineral patches as he is creating pairs of SCVs, and notice how they perfectly trade off at the last second. Very good way to get your mining efficient. Not at the start of the game, but a little bit later when you start getting 20 or 30 workers. That early pairing will help out quite a bit. There's the barracks going down, and he is scouting for some sort of proxy. That would be a terrible way to open up with this long delay to lose to a proxy. That'll definitely do a big toll on your mental state, but instead just being safe. And we see back in TT1's base, he is playing conservatively and normally.
Yep, going to drop that gateway, about 50% done right now. The barracks about ready to complete as well. And here we have scouting SCV from Jinro making his way through the center of the map. You see Jinro's base right now as his barracks is about to complete, and then he'll build a Marine and send him over to the ramp.
And it looks like there's the high five. It seemed to be a little bit of an aggressive high five, kind of like a bully in a hallway in middle school, way back when bullies still existed. And there it looks like the Cybernetics core going down behind the mineral line. Again, no early Zealot yet, and a very fast second assimilator. That's a little unusual. We've seen TT1 go for very big warp gate plays in most of his recent PVTs, but again, just like in the last Steps of War game, getting the double gas.
And this Marine does let this probe slip by, but the SCV's taking it out to take care of business. There's supply depot going down, and he'll continue to replenish. We got a second Marine out as well, and here we're going to have the factory over near the top once again.
It looks like both players literally pretending to one another that last game did not exist, and it looks like no TT1 not going for an early Zealot at all, getting a chrono-boosted Stalker up ASAP. Curious to see if he'll do that fast Colossus rush again.
Yeah, and that was interesting. You know, he pretty much did it off of a single base for the duration of that matchup, and then of course did get that Nexus down. It was about to be dropped, and of course that could have been all sorts of crazy. That whole game was wild, and I really looked forward to see what we're going to have here. We've got Warp Gate coming out, and a Sentry is going to be popping as well. And once again, we have a fairly quick robo facility.
And we do see a reactor going down on Jinro's barracks, wanting to get a lot of Marines. Yet again, looks like he is gearing up to do a similar build to what he's done in other games, doing a scouting factory, getting a fast starport, and probably going to be opening up with Raven. Doesn't want to do that cloaked Banshee play again, as TT1 is doing the very safe 2 gateway, 1 robo, could possibly be going for that Colossus rush again. And it looks like this Stalker, oh my goodness, Jinro's going to be surprised to see that.
Yeah, and this SCV, again, doing a lot of active scouting around the map, and that's exactly the kind of thing that he wants to see. Any sort of units, any sort of maybe crazy proxy that TT1 might be doing, but of course, he's not really that style of Protoss player. Likes to play straight up, get an army he's comfortable with, apply pressure, sometimes contain, and move forward for the kill.
It looks like the bunker is down for Jinro right now. It looks like he's getting a second barracks as well. Going to be a tech lab on that one. We do see the starport is going down. Probably going to be a Raven popping out, as we've seen Jinro really liked that timing push that he executed quite brilliantly against TT1 previously. Looks like he wants to go at it again. 1 Immortal being chrono boosted right now. 3rd gateway going down. Wow, TT1 might be going for a big 1 base bust, including the Immortals, instead of that Colossus.
And we are going to see a factory coming in here. Unfortunately, these 3 units aren't going to be able to take it out very quickly. We've also got another Stalker warping in, and he's going to get great vision. He sees 1 gateway, 2nd gateway, and then the 3rd one being warped in right now. Also sees that robotics facility, and we'll probably see this Immortal pop out as well. So a great, super armored little observer right there in the factory. The factory will get clean read on everything.
Looks like Banshee popping out now for Jinro. 2nd bunker going down. Nothing else really being revealed from TT1. He does have enough money to expand. Let's see if he does invest in that right now, and it does look like he's going for that. And in production, he doesn't have a single pylon being made, so he has pylon blocked himself. We see that probe is unable to get thrown down, so one pylon getting thrown down, and it looks like an expo will be up eventually.
Oh, and that factory is going to fall, taking enough damage and burning. And here we've got an SCV moving forward, trying to get an eyeball on this army. We'll see that the probe is sitting here, and no Nexus has been dropped yet. Jinro going to kind of try to move around, but this army will move out to get rid of that SCV. There's also this pylon over here, again, used for spotting and warping in if he would need it. And also a Banshee is out for Jinro. He's going to continue to do this style of harassment play.
I'm very curious to see the way that TT1 is going to move out. If he's going to be expanding, if he's going to be attacking. Jinro's entire style, as indicated by this third barracks, revolves around his opponent expanding pretty early on. And if TT1 delays that expansion, perhaps gets this Colossus out a little earlier, he might be much more, impervious to it. But no, there goes down the Nexus, and the Colossus will be a little bit delayed. But again, one Immortal could be the key.
That pylon was taken out by the Banshee that is now making his way over to the natural expansion. We'll see that Nexus. No, he's going to go right to the back of the base and see if he can do any damage right there. He slips in, peeks, does see the Nexus is warping in, and now making his way to the back. You could see that this Observer is out, and of course he knew that Banshee was coming. That pylon was taken out, so he knew it was eventually going to make his way into the base.
TT1 needs to be very, very careful. He is really walking on thin ice in this game. He's continuing to warp in gateway units 3 at a time, but look at this large Marine Banshee force. He's almost done with combat shield. There's the 2 Vikings coming out right now. Needs to kill that off very quickly, and there is the salvage on the bunker. It does look like TT1 is going to be able to scout, and he might even be forced to cancel this Nexus.
He does have Stim already done. Concussor Cells is finishing, and so is Combat Shield. Still a little bit a ways away. The Nexus does look like it is going to go ahead and complete. And there you can see the whole army of TT1 in the back, wide open right now.
Oh my goodness, it looks like TT1 is not going to be having his units split in half again, but he is going to be losing this, and it is going to be very hard to keep that Nexus alive. He is going to have to regroup if he wants to be able to win. It looks like there is the huge force moving forward. TT1 is starting to move. Oh no, is only having half his units go down to the bottom of the ramp. The rest are following from behind. SCV is taking a lot of damage, and there's the GG from TT1, the same timing push from Jinro. After a long wait, a fast, very, very well-timed push by Jinro allows him to take the series 4-1, making him the first-place champion.
Yes, and also an international player winning MLG, a big, big accomplishment. Yeah, that's right. And, of course, Team Liquid representing. These guys have been doing one heck of a job. They've been representing over in Korea. They've been, of course, training with OGS, another very high-profile Korean pro gaming team over there. And Jinro does an amazing, amazing job throughout the entire tournament, coming all the way to this point. He was not defeated in this competition.
Yeah, he never lost a single series. We saw him have some very intense series, though. Definitely that games against Pain User. And we will be coming back after a short break to see the presentation of the check and to say hello to our #1 winner, LiquidJinro.